Hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, your ultimate destination for all things related to the school leaders licensure assessment, also known as 6 SLLA 6990. Whether you are a seasoned educator looking to advance your career or an aspiring school leader aiming to ace the SLLA exam, you have come to the right place. On this channel, we are dedicated to providing you with valuable insights, tips, and resources to help you navigate the complexities of the SLLA 6990 exam. From comprehensive study guides and practice exams to strategies for effective leadership and management, we have got you covered every step of the way. So if you're ready to take your educational career to new heights and become a confident and competent school leader, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community of passionate educators. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Together, let's unlock the keys to educational leadership excellence. So first and foremost, I want to know whether you suffer from kind of text anxiety. Before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Sridevi P. Thashnath. I have 30 years of teaching experience. I've been the principal for the last 20 years and I'm blessed to be a certified license holder under this school leadership license and assessment test code, that is 6990. I passed in the first attempt and I know how much of anxiety, how much of challenges that we have before we do this, attempt this examination. So for all the aspiring school leaders, for those principals, for those vice principals, the MLTs and the SLTs, do not worry. I'll be able to give all the tips and techniques so that you will be able to clear your SLLA exam in the best way. So first and foremost, SLLA 6990 exam. This is to measure whether the principals and other school leaders possess the necessary skills, knowledge, and capabilities to perform as a competent school administration. Definitely, you all are already the MLTs or the SLTs. You have that skills, knowledge, and capabilities, no doubt about it. What is required is to understand and to know the knack of handling and how to do this exam. It's what is all about. As you all know, that this test is run by ETS, that is Educational Testing Service. So let us first understand thoroughly what is the exact name of the test, how much of time does it take, how many questions do they have, and what is the mode of the examination. So first and foremost, you should be knowing SLLA means School Leaders Licensure Assessment, and the test code is 6990, and that is the reason why we call it as SLLA 6990. How much time is it required to write this exam, to attempt this exam? It is 4 hours. This is divided into two separately timed sections. One is 165 minutes selected response section and a 75-minute constructed response section. How many questions do we have? Under section 1, we have 120 selected response questions and the duration, as I said, it is 165 minutes. Under the section 2, which is very challenging, there are 4 questions which is known as constructed response questions and for 75 minutes, and which is calling for writing written answers based on the scenarios about which I'll be discussing more in details in my upcoming videos, and set of documents that an educational leader might encounter. What is the format of this exam? Yes, it is a computer delivered exam. So we have to understand that there are 7 sections. The 4-hour testing time is divided into 2 separately timed sections, and again I'm repeating, 120 selected response questions and 4 constructed response questions. So you have an idea now how many questions total you have. Now these are framed. based on these 7 categories. And these 7 categories, when we talk about, number one, it is strategic leadership. Number two, instructional leadership. Now, under the strategic leadership, approximately 20 questions are there, and you can see the percentage, the weightage, that is 13 percentage. You can see 13 percentage. Yeah, sorry. And instructional leadership, 27 questions are there. 27 questions, and 17 percentage is the weightage. So with this we understand the number of questions they will be asking and what is the weightage. Under third category, it is climate and cultural leadership, and here we have 22 questions and 13% is the weightage. Next category is ethical leadership. Under the ethical leadership, we have 19 questions asked approximately, and we will have the weightage is 12%. And the next is the fifth category is organizational leadership, under which we have 16 questions that they will be asking approximately, and the weightage is 10%. Under the sixth category, that is community engagement leadership, there are 16 questions and the weightage is 10%. Sorry. Next is the seventh is community engagement leadership. As I said, again here it is 16 questions and 10% is the weightage. And the last one, if you notice, it has got maximum weightage, the seventh category, that is analysis constructed response. We call it as CR, and approximate questions only 4 questions and the weightage is 25%. So the question is this SLLA 6990 hard to pass? Actually speaking, many test takers find this exam to be very difficult and a challenging experience. If you ask me, I remember still, how difficult I felt. However, I could clear it in my first attempt. I'm very blessed and maybe I'm very fortunate, but at the same time, there is hard work, there is dedication, there is determination, there is devotion in that, and that's what it paid, and with the grace of God Almighty's blessings. So most of the questions actually are designed to assess your critical thinking and problem solving skills, how much and in which way you'll be able to solve this. That skill has been tested, and this exam makes the more challenging than the normal other tests. Actually, it depends, rely more on heavily on memorization and rote learning. So the test questions are actually scenario based, which means that they require you to analyze a school situation, often accompanied by a data set, and then choose the most effective approach. Sometimes when people look over the answer choices, they feel that there are several answers that could be the right one. This can be frustrating and anxiety inducing, but I assure you there is one best or most effective answer. So please remember, it is not that hard to pass, but with proper practice and with proper and thorough understanding, you'll be able to clear this exam. So what is a passing score on the SLLA 6990 exam? This being my first part 1, that's why I'm giving you a brief introduction about all these things, so that you will have a clear idea about this examination. And then the next part, I will be going for the I'll be giving you questions and I'll be explaining you, and I'll be telling why the answer is why we have opted for that answer. So please stay tuned. So what happens is that the question to you is that we all want to know the before you write the exam, you should know that what is a passing score and how do you prepare for it then. So please remember, most states that use the SLLA 6990 set the passing score at a 151. Because ETS uses a scale score to calculate this, it is difficult to predict an exact score you need to pass. For example, there are 120 questions on the selected response section, and that portion of the exam is worth 75%. You remember, for the CR, it is the weightage is 25%, and for the rest of the categories, that's the 6 categories that we have with 120 questions, it has a weightage of 75%. And there are 4 constructed response questions worth up to 3 points each, and that portion of the test is worth 25% of the exam. I hope you got me. 75% for the first 6 categories, and for the last category, that is constructed response, it is the category is having 25% weightage. So let's say you get 7 out of the first 6 categories, the questions you get 77 out of 120, because we said 120 questions will be there. So supposing if you score 77 marks out of that 120 on the multiple choice, that means when you calculate the percentage, you will get it as 64% correct. However, that is worth 75% of the test. Therefore, you have to multiply, you said 64%. So 0.64 by 75%, which will give you 0.48 or 48%. Put that number aside. Now, let's calculate the constructed response. So you have taken into consideration to calculate the first part, that is the 120 questions, multiple choice questions, and then you got the score as 48%. Now let's calculate the constructed response. Let's say you got out of 12 6 points. Okay, 6 points out of 12 for the constructed response, that is 50%, half of it. So 50% you got, but then you have to multiply that by 25%, because the constructed response is worth 25% of the test. That is, its weightage is 25%. So you get approximately 13%. Now, this 13% and the previous 48% you need to add. So you are adding 48% for the selected response and 13% from the constructed response, and you get 61%. Drop the percent and add 100 to that. So with 61 plus 100, you get 161, which is considered passing. So that is how we calculate the passing score on the SLLA exam. So please look at the slide again. Now in this, we said that we have 7 categories. Now under the 7 categories, you need to remember again, we have strategic leadership, we have instructional leadership. Now as I told you before also, that we have 20 questions for the first section. So under that, what are the portions to be covered? That is, number 1 is mission, vision, goals and core values. So on that you can expect a question. There will be a question based on shared commitments to implement vision and goals. There will be next question based on continuous improvement towards the vision and goals. And the fourth one under this category is data analysis and decision making. How as a leader you decide on an aspect. So that is how, as a strategic leader, what comes is mission, vision and goals and the core values mainly. Okay, now, and you know that in the strategic leadership you have 20 questions. Now section 2, instructional leadership, this particular area, this section will have 27 questions. Now under this 27 questions, what are the areas that is covered? Please remember, professional development and building capacity. As the school leader, what would be your strategic plan for bringing this professional development and building capacity? What about the rigorous curriculum and instruction, whether it is curriculum adaptation, curriculum modification, all about the curriculum, about that, whether the leader has a proper understanding about this aspect or not. Next important point under this section is all about assessment and accountability. Now when we talk about the accountability does not lie only on the main leader, that is a SLT. It is also applicable on the HODs, it is also applicable on the coordinators, the supervisors, the vice principal, all of them. So under that, there will be one question that you can ask. So under section 2, 27 questions will be asked on these three aspects. Please remember. Next, section 3. So you can imagine 27 questions will be asked under this category. Now section 3 is all about climate and cultural leadership. Under this, you have about the community of care and support for teachers, of care and support, all about care and support. Next is equity and cultural responsiveness. Next is community of care and support for students. So all about the community and care is here, that comes under climate and culture. How many questions will be asked? 22 questions will be asked. Next comes a section 4, that is all about ethical leadership. Under the ethical leadership, you have two areas that they will be covering, and there will be 19 MCQs, multiple choice questions, and that is based on ethical and legal behavior. Next is ethical values and beliefs. So 19 questions based on these two content. Next is the organizational leadership. In that comes under section 5, in which it's all about the operations or human resource, or it is a protection, the safety, all these things are covered. So managing operational system. As the leader, how will you be managing the operational system? As a leader, how will you be aligning and obtaining the fiscal and human resources? As the principal, you need to look into the human resource also in the appointment of the teachers, in the appointment of the staff, the required, you to meet the needs of the school. Next is protecting the welfare and safety of students and staff. So under this category, that is organizational leadership, there will be 16 questions that will be asked. Next important question is section 6, that is all about community engagement leadership. Now, community engagement leadership, when there are 16 questions, and under this, you need to collaborate with the families and other community members, whether it is the doctors or it is the business tycoons, or whether it is the social worker or the volunteers or anybody. How as a leader will you collaborate with these families, and also community interest and needs, giving some voluntary services through your students, through your staff. Many things are there under this section, so it carries 16 marks. So you saw section 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 6, the 6 questions that is covering 120 questions. And the last part, it is section 7, which is analysis. And when we talk about analysis, it is all about your detailed descriptive answer, which is called as constructed response. And you will find 4 questions. Now, when we say 4 questions, I want you to understand that, it's all about strategic planning process, rigorous standards based curriculum, cultural competencies, competence and ethical legal way. So based on all these things, I am sure that you have understood, the main content of the examination. Now the question is, I want you all to understand that there are some tips that we need to follow, especially because the most biggest challenge is 25% weightage constructed response that we have to give 4 questions only. So how to pass that particular response? So please understand, one of the number one is work backwards. So I would like to say one of the most challenging sections of the exam is the constructed response portion, which requires the test takers to write well-crafted responses to the open-ended questions. So while this section can be daunting, there are strategies that can help test takers score well on the constructed response portion of the SLLA 6990. So first and foremost, it is work backwards when approaching the writing prompts. Please understand. So what do you mean by this? You have to read the task first before reading the prompt. Okay, this will help you to set the purpose for reading and writing before you tackle the prompt. It will also save you tons of time. Okay. Number 2 is analyze the prompt and its components. So what does it mean? Some prompts will just have a scenario, and others will include the data sets. So you need to read the question carefully and make sure you understand exactly what is being asked. Okay. Number 3, plan your response. Once you understand the task and the prompt, take a few minutes to map your response. An effective way to do this is to make each task its own paragraph. Decide which points you will cover in each paragraph. This will help you stay organized and ensure that you address all aspects of the prompt. Number 4 is you need to use specific examples. Please remember, to score well on the constructed response, it's important to use specific examples to support your answer. This will show that you have a deep understanding of the material and it can be applied to the real world situations. You have to use relevant examples from your own experiences or from case studies to illustrate your points. Also try to cite specifics from the data and scenario you are given. Next number 5 is be concise. While it's important to provide a thorough answer, it's also important to be concise. The SLLA 6990 exam is timed, so you just cannot waste your valuable time writing unnecessary information. So stick to the point and avoid repeating yourself. Next point, important point, is you need to use proper grammar and spelling. While you will not fail this part of the test for a few grammar mistakes, a well written professional response is essential for a success on the SLLA 6990. Next point is practice, practice, practice. Finally, the key to success on the constructed response section is practice. Find practice prompts in, you need to understand about the practice. Remember, you can write multiple times to one prompt by changing your approach. I hope you understood the tips to attempt to how do you pass the last part, section 7. So you need to keep these things in mind when we respond. So that is what I said. And next is smart tips for success. Now to succeed, the question to you is that, should I guess? You will be thinking about. If you really want to succeed, I would like to say yes, you need to guess also sometimes, because your score is based on the number of questions you answer correctly. There is no penalty or subtraction for an incorrect or wrong answer. So don't worry. In case if you have no other choice, but please attempt. When you don't know the answer to a question, try to eliminate any obviously wrong answer and then guess at the right one. So try to pace yourself so that you have enough time to carefully consider every question. Next is, can I answer the questions in any order? The question is whether you can answer the question in any order. Yes, you can answer the questions in the order or skip the questions and come back to them later. But if you skip a question, you can also mark it so that you can remember to return and answer it later. Remember that question left unanswered are treated the same as questions answered incorrectly. So it is to your advantage to answer every question. Next question is, are there trick questions on the test? The answer is no. There are no hidden meanings or trick questions. All of the questions on the test ask about the subject matter, knowledge in a straightforward manner. So please don't worry. Are there answer patterns on the test? The reply to this is no. You might have heard this myth. The answers on the test follows patterns. Another myth is that there will never be more than two questions in a row with the correct answer the same position among the choices. Neither myth is true. Select the answer you think is correct based on your knowledge of the subject. Last question, can I write on the scratch paper I'm given? Yes, you can work out problems on the scratch paper, make notes to yourself or write anything at all. Your scratch paper will be destroyed after you're finished with it. So use it in any way because it is going to be helpful to you. But make sure to select or enter your answers on the computer. So I would like to also add that some more tips for taking this test. Keep the questions you find extremely difficult. rather than trying to answer these on your first pass through the test. You may want to leave them blank and make them so that you can return to them later. Next is pay attention to the time as you answer the rest of the questions on the test, because you need to keep an eye on the time and try to finish with 10 or 15 minutes remaining so that you can go back over the questions you left blank. You can check, recheck. You must have sufficient time also. Next important point is, even if you don't know the answer the second time, you read the question, see if you can narrow down the possible answers and then guess. Remember, your score is based on the number of right answers, so it is your advantage to answer every question. Last but not the least, I want to talk about in this part all about the scoring scale. So if your score point, the 4 points of the scoring scale corresponds to varying degree of performances. Now, for example, if you are given 4 score point, which means that it reflects a thorough understanding of the relevant knowledge and skills. If you're getting 3 point, it means that it will reflect your general understanding, not the specific understanding. If you have thorough understanding, they will give you 4 points. If you have just a general understanding based on your experience and all, so you will get 3 points. Supposing if you have limited understanding of the relevant knowledge and skills, which means you will be getting only 2 points. And if in case you get 1 point, which means it reflects very little or no understanding of the relevant knowledge and skills. However, there's also U, they give the score. U is the response is unrelated to the assignment and it is unreadable. So in that case, they will put a U there. And if in case there is no response to the question that is asked, then they will put B. So based on this, you have to understand that the importance of this examination, you need to pass. I know that many of the principals and the vice principals, they've attempted once or twice, but no harm. Maybe that because of your busy and hectic schedule, you're not able to. I would request you all to please spend some time, and I'm not going to give you detailed video, because if in case it's detailed one, you may not be able to go through everything. So I'll be giving you part wise. So in the next video, definitely I'm going to give you some questions as well as the answers. I'll be talking about how we are getting those answers, so it will be very helpful to you. And it's everything, all the materials are available, and I just want you all to please put in the comments what else you need, what are the help and support. But before that, you need to like, share, and also comment, and also please subscribe my channel. And in my channel, in this channel, it's not only SLLA but also all about addressing the parents, addressing the students, addressing about the life skills. I will also be showing you how to positive thinking or positive life, motivational talk, or there could be some yogas which I may do. Lot of things that as a person, as a leader, I strongly believe in learning, unlearning, and relearning. I always believe that the beautiful quote of Alvin Toffler, who said that the illiterate of 21st century are not those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. No matter whatever is the degree that we have, whatever is our experience that we have, but we need to learn certain things. We may understand that this has to be unlearned, so we need to be ready, and willingness, there should be willingness, acceptance. And I think these are all the bedrock of spiritual as well as our growth. And with the proper mindset, with the proper growth mindset, not the fixed mindset, I strongly believe that anybody who is watching my channel, definitely they'll be able to clear. And once you clear, please let me know, give me your replies, give me your responses. That's all. Thank you so much and have a great day. I'll move on to the part 2, but before that, you need to subscribe to my channel so that I'll be more, it will be encouraging me, it will be motivating me to do more of these kind of content. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.